Hi, guys.
It said Terry wasn't recording.
God damn it. We had it so smooth the last 3 weeks.
The last 3 weeks have been so
true.
good. What's the common denominator of the last 3 weeks? I haven't fucking been here. I think I just need to leave. I'm moving
That
to
good luck charm was
Tuscany.
buried in my backyard.
I'm moving to where there is no Wi-Fi and there are no podcasts. It's just wine and postcard-like settings. And
Dine and 69.
and 69. They do count
Nice.
69 in Tuscany.
Yeah.
I did learn how, but totally forgot by the time I
They
got
start
back.
and finish at 69.
That is how. That's how, you know, because that's. There's a lot of confusion always as to what the metric system is in Europe, and that's all it is they start and stop at 69.
Yeah,
A way
that's-
more
thank
sexually
you.
enlightened country and continent and
Nice.
place.
I thought
in the
you
world.
lost
that's
your,
the
like,
whole
American
plot of the
innuendo.
movie Euro Trip.
I thought you lost your
Oh,
American innuendo
never.
while you were gone. You weren't even
Never.
laughing. I literally said finish at 69.
I was laughing.
It's easy.
I was laughing.
It's easy too.
It is pretty easy, yeah. But you also got to focus on, you know, the other part too. It's a real multitasking puzzle.
Oh,
That
good
number.
Lord. Yeah.
Oh, that's where we stepped over the line. Sorry.
Yeah.
What a great
What's
intro
wrong?
to episode 145 of the Belligerent Beavs podcast. I love you +2 proves I've been listening while I've been away.
good
I
for
love you
you.
+2.
Oh.
That was the most psyched I was in these last 3 weeks listening to Belligerent Beavs because I had a pager during the pager era that wasn't mine. And when I listened to that episode, I was like, I have to talk about this when I'm back on the pod. Listener, I'm back. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so sorry. I'll
Welcome
never
back.
leave you for that
Welcome
long
back,
again.
Terry.
If you thought the last 3 episodes of the Belligerent Beefs podcast were the best 3 episodes of the Belligerent Beefs podcast, well, sorry, not sorry. I'm back to ruin shit again and be
We're
loud.
knocking it down a peg.
We're knocking it back down to sub-sophomoric immature innuendo. But
God damn it.
when I was in, I think 6th or 7th grade, my sister's high school boyfriend had a pager. This was a million years ago, obviously. And then he got a new pager, gave me his old one, and said, yo, this still has a month on it, and you can just have it. So for a month, I had that pager, and
It's still
no one
at your
paged
desk.
me except for people who were trying to page my sister's boyfriend. But I still rocked it to school, and I remember like the code to say like I love you on a page, but also like
Dude.
I was the only one who had my pager number because like my friends didn't have pagers.
I
that
was
was
the only one that had my pager number.
that was
But I
one
guess
of-
that's true. Like who?
Right.
Who? Yeah.
right.
Who would've-
else was doing? That was one of the first like status symbols for our generation. Was like, oh man, pagers are cool, and none of us stopped to ask fucking why. Why
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
any of us have these? Even before like that era of technology, pagers were really only useful for like doctors who like needed to get somewhere immediately, and you didn't need any other context. Like the pager goes off, get back to the fucking hospital. Like it's a perfect piece of technology for that. But like being a kid, either middle school or high school at that time, you get paged from a number that's just like, all right, call this number then to figure out like where to go to hang out. Like it just made things more
find
complicated.
the
Find a
find the
payphone
nearest
and call
payphone. Yeah.
call my friend's
Call
mom,
it
1-800-COLLECT, and say all of the information where it says state your name so that I don't actually have to accept charges.
Dude,
Can
I
we
went
please
so when
wait,
I was in.
Can we just change the subject because your shirt, Benny?
Oh yeah.
Did I miss
Well,
this conversation?
Yes, I
I had
thought
no idea this
you
was
had
happening.
you had me convinced that Terry was buried in your backyard, so I made a commemorative shirt for him.
Thank you.
And
Stand up,
was
let me see
surprised
this.
he was
Wow, some, I can recognize some of the. Okay, there's the wings picture. There's a hookah
I found
picture.
the best pictures.
There's a 2022 Civil War picture that's in the middle. There's a JP Bachelor's Party picture. What's the one lower left hand corner of
this one?
Your
That's
left,
an old
your
Facebook
left.
photo. Oh yeah, what is that?
What?
I don't know.
Oh no, that's me on
You were just
Instagram.
going-
I'm wearing the same sweatshirt as I'm wearing right now, the old school Benny Krenak, and a couple of those.
So I was telling Terry this. Really, so you guys have seen these shirts being advertised all over the place, and so I saw.
I don't know
it
that I
one
have,
night.
actually.
Really, my algorithm is very skewed towards
my
these
algorithm is.
Annie bought one.
I
algorithm-
got one with Yuri. I got one with Yuri on it too.
My algorithm right now is very much like, how the fuck do I watch the Western Conference Finals abroad with a fake VPN type shit? So my my IP address is fucked. Riverside might say someone's trying to join this studio from Naples, Italy right now. That might be what's happening. So if that causes any friction, I apologize. But so I have not seen these shirts on Facebook. Betty mentioned that before we started recording, like,
Yeah,
it was an obvious thing.
yeah. Well, they are on my Facebook and my Instagram. And then I saw, I don't know how I came across the pictures of stamps.com. And for the listeners, I don't even know if I can explain it. It was just, remember the stamps.com
Stamps.com, anything.com, fucking internet.com.
Fucking anything.com. So that's
a mixture
that's how I came
of,
up with this. I was bored one night.
It was a mixture of stamps.com, which was a real thing, which factored into an entourage bit, and also a hot tub time machine bit. I said that quickly and fast, and it sounded weird coming out of my mouth. I'm just getting
Like an Italian.
my ciao bella. I'm just getting my podcasting chops back. Sorry.
Oh.
See? Yeah.
Damn, someone learned some stuff.
Okay, Anthony Bourdain.
Un cappuccino.
I did say un cappuccino a bit. Just being like, I need caffeine. And I know what that is.
I learned that.
For sure. But yeah, stamps.com. And then we got dressed up for like just one night of JP's bachelor party. And I think,
which was the most ridiculous of the nights, and
which
probably
was
not the one to dress up for.
Right. And also that was like one of the first bachelor parties too. So like a lot of us didn't have money yet. Like you didn't get married. You didn't get married immediately after college, JP, but it was like not super long after college. So like, like careers weren't really happening
in about 2 months.
Yeah, so like, shout out Aaron, who was like,
he was rolling.
Aaron was rolling, but didn't want to he didn't want to be the one getting, G'd up for money or whatever. So he pointed at me and was like, that's the stamps.com mogul. Stamps.com, fucking anything.com, fucking internet.com. And even one dude I think we were at Polo Grounds after the Giants. We went to multiple Giants games on that bachelor party. One in the stands, one in McCovey Cove. Great bachelor party.
Fun.
And
it was
a person who's not part of our group who we didn't know. I think this was the last night because JP, you were on death's doorstep.
Oh my god, my body was shaking.
One of the bartenders
Polo Grounds
was trying to like force a blowjob shot on you, and you were just dying. And someone came up to me and was like, "Are you really the founder of Stamps.com?" And I'm like, "No," and also now's not the time.
Yeah, in San Francisco,
JP,
though, you never know.
You do never know.
Play 5 seconds of "Turn Down for What" by Lil Jon.
Turn down for what?
And maybe the East Side Boys, but that was the anthem to that weekend for sure.
That was like the weekend it came out.
Yeah.
And
then you heard it all over the place, and we're like, "That's our fucking song." You heard it all over the place.
That's
like
our
2 years.
song. We have made that song cool. That weekend was also my first ever Airbnb stay. That's how long ago that bachelor party was.
Oh, dude, that house was so sick.
It was
so
cool.
cool.
Diamond Heights had such a great view of the whole bay. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And we were just the most ridiculous degenerates, like shuffling our way to the Safeway at Diamond Heights to buy food after we were like absolutely hungover and realized we had nothing to eat.
or shuffling our way across the street from the strip club and almost getting arrested. You remember that? I had no idea. Well, you helped me. Yeah, I would have been arrested or gotten a ticket.
I got you out of that. I got you out of that. Well, whoever got in a fight at the bar across the street and they told you, stay right here, and you like sat on a bench outside of some bar on the other side of Broadway.
Waiting for the cops like an honest gentleman
like, I don't know.
Did nothing wrong.
Like, I don't know. They told me to sit right here. I was like, what? No, let's go. We're out of here. Run.
Dude,
I don't remember. I got you out of that.
Yeah. Oh man,
you were going to be a law-abiding citizen after being a law-unabiding citizen.
I don't think he did anything that wrong. I don't remember this at all.
Yeah,
shocking.
That was it, and they were just like waiting for people drinking to jaywalk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They pulled that shit in Portland too for a while.
They caught me.
Well, no, in Portland, in Oregon, the pedestrian has the right of way no matter what.
Yeah,
if you I know, but there are a couple times where like that intersection right outside of Marathon. There's a couple nights where we would just be leaving the bar, and there'd be a cop just chilling at a red light, not going, and we'd be like, we'd also have the red, and just be like, what the hell, and just walk, and then the cop would be like, why the fuck are you? No arrest actually happened that way, but I do remember just like storming out of Marathon, being like, I'm going home, and not paying attention.
My recollection of these
walk sign or not.
My recollection of these stories, though, is that we'd leave Marathon, see a cop. There was or at least a cop car. It was too dark to even know if there was anyone in the car. And we'd be like, shit.
And ask the cop to drive us through the McDonald's drive-thru on nights the walk-up window wasn't open.
Oh, my God. The walk-up window. I went to the walk-up window. It wasn't a couple years ago, but it was like years after you had stopped living in the Portland Tower.
It was after the Montana State game, right?
Oh, yeah, it was after the
when we played Montana State at Providence Park. We went to the walk-up window.
We did.
That was our first credential game.
Yeah,
it was our first credential game.
Yeah.
And how do you celebrate that the right way? Walk-up window.
With the walk-up window.
Walk-up window.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was cool. Nice. That was a very cool experience. And man, were those fucking better days than what we are dealing with now.
If you had told me what was going to happen on that day, I'd be like, no fucking way.
Wait.
That's like a Dan Brown dystopian college football realignment novel.
Way.
I don't know what you're trying to get me to do. But
we have found new buttons.
No. Did you not hear that?
I heard it.
I heard it. Oh, this is
okay. Well, it happened then. I didn't hear it. I didn't hear that one either.
What's wrong? Why?
I don't know.
Yeah, what's wrong, Terry?
I don't know.
Benny heard it.
I missed you guys.
I did. It was worth it.
Yeah, it was a good one. It was good. And you also did a good job acting, at least, blindly acting along with the audio clip. Well done.
Yeah.
Thank you, Terry.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. I hope it wasn't a car horn that you did, because you almost caused several accidents the first time.
Honk twice if you're happy that Terry's back.
Oh, I heard that.
Oh, so you
I heard something.
Hear the good ones.
You should get your hearing.
No, I hear it when you're being nice to me. It's selective hearing.
Well, the other one was like a beep test. Like, when you get your ears tested and they're like, can you hear that sound?
Oh.
How about now? What ear is it in? And so you missed all of that. I would
wait, I've never got a hearing test.
You've never had your hearing checked?
I've done it.
Ever?
No.
Never, ever?
No.
All right.
Dude, my hearing's so bad, too.
So bad. Definitely.
Did I ever tell you guys?
This hasn't come up in 145 episodes of podcasting. My hearing is terrible.
This was maybe last year when I was at Costco, I was at Costco and Yuri's like, they have hearing tests here if you want. And I went up
Yeah,
to
they have
see
everything
if I
here.
could. They have fucking everything store. And
Nah. I'll just have 10 meatballs. I'm good. My ears are fine.
I asked if I like what it took to get a hearing aid because I think I need one. And I asked the lady, I was like, is it unusual for someone that's in their like late 30s to need to have a hearing aid? And she's like, that is super unusual. I still think that I need one though.
I think she's full of shit. Like there are people obviously like old age is a factor in hearing, but it's not the only one. Like there are people who struggle with hearing from birth. It's not just an age thing.
And
that lady
too,
was
like,
probably just over it.
I think that
she's probably
it
like,
was,
please, I'm closing this stand. Go away.
I think that she was probably more so answering the question based on someone who hasn't had.
I've been listening to Andre Nicotina at volume 11 out of 10 for several hours, and my hearing's weird. And she's like, get the fuck out of my workspace right now.
What?
Yeah, some of it might be selective too.
And then she said,
Actually,
can you
some
hear
of it
this? And
definitely
you
is
couldn't. And it
selective
was like a sound effect in Riverside that you can maybe sometimes hear, but not always hear. It's really more just trickery. Well, it is good to be back with you guys. It's great to be back stateside.
Welcome back.
You accurately guessed in the last episode, I was 9 hours ahead of you. So I think I was like just waking up a little bit after you guys had started recording the last episode. So I maybe could have hopped on.
Yeah, I was going to say, what the fuck?
Audio would have been terrible. The internet would have been spotty. And I didn't have much else to add other than go Beavs. And then got called out immediately on social media for sending the same photo, the same selfie to you guys that I also sent to our friend Ryan Harlan, because it was his Twitter coverage of the baseball game that I was following. And then I woke up to just notifications like, oh, Terry's being a real like Beaver Twitter hoe right now, sending the same selfie to his podcast host and literally his favorite reporter. I'm so sorry that I sent you guys a selfie and then I sent Ryan the same selfie. Such a slut move of me. I apologize.
Just slutting it up in Italy.
Yeah, just not forgiven.
No,
very European.
Once you've been burned once, it is very European. Not down with that lifestyle.
Right?
Did you get a chance to watch any sports over there, Terry?
Yes, though not
because there's
really.
A lot going on.
There's been a lot going on. There was not the most fun Western Conference Finals ever. I was waking up late at night to try and watch the Wolves versus Mavericks as much as I could. Didn't work out for us. The game it was like game 2 was like the real heartbreaker that the Wolves just fucking had. And that was the one where Jaden McDaniels got mauled, and you could totally see it on the replay, but they're like, oh, it's not reviewable. So let's just give Luka and Kyrie like 7, 8, 9 chances, whatever. So like that game ends and the Wolves lose by 1. And it wasn't just the refs. Like we fucking gave it away. Game ends. It's like the most infuriating type of playoff game ever. And then it's just 5:30 in the morning. And there's no way I'm falling back asleep because I'm so mad. And I'm just in bed until like 8:30, 9 a.m. And then it's like, all right, we have 3 tours today and all this other shit. And I have to like pretend like I'm well rested and fine. And I think I did a good job of that. What was funny was by the time we got to the wedding weekend in Tuscany, and there was, more people from Minneapolis there and meeting up with us, everyone kept coming up to Sam and being like, is Terry okay? Like, how's Terry doing? Is he all right? And she was like, yeah, he's fucking fine. What are you talking about? And they're like, the Timberwolves. And she was like, oh yeah, he's all right. Or at least he's faking it well. So I didn't let it ruin the trip, but that was hard.
And what does the city of Minneapolis get blessed with after that? I love you, and I think you'll agree with me, but the most trash uniforms of any professional sports team.
I saw that shit today. Yeah, they're not good uniforms, but as you mentioned, I feel some solace with all of the City Connects being trash.
Yeah, they are.
But the Twins ones are so weird. Like, why are they Brewers colors?
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't they just do the same thing but make it Twins colors? I don't get it. And
the Mariners have the same color palette for their City Connects.
Yeah. Also, just why anything? Like, why any of this? The Lynx are killing, which is cool. And then I was, of course, following the College World Series regionals there as well, which went great. Made it back in time to watch the Super Regionals, which went less great, which we will be talking about, I'm sure.
Do we have to?
We don't. I think we do have to. But
it's
yeah,
our podcast.
so I was able to
we
watch
do whatever we
sport.
want.
We can do whatever we want. That is true. That's what's great about being independent, baby. And we are just trying to spread joy. I know a lot of people in Beaver Nation are hurting right now for the most recent events, and people are worried about the future and everything. So we could just do a total fuck around
therapy
episode.
Session.
But I think we got to eulogize the baseball season a little bit.
Yeah,
and at least talk about it and share some frustrations, maybe shed some light, and we'll get into that stuff and maybe talk a little bit about football as that is on the horizon and coming sooner than any of us think. August 31st will be here before we all know it. But yeah, I watched some sports while I was over there.
That's good.
But, spent most of the time eating pasta. And based on the
How are the wings?
Yeah, how were did you ever find any wings?
I had one set of wings at the first hotel we stayed at in Rome, and they were fine. And
dude, how did you like Rome?
I love Rome. Rome was great.
Dude,
I honestly liked everywhere
we
went. Rome was spectacular.
Yeah, Rome's amazing.
Really fun. Naples was great too. A lot of people shit on Naples, but that kind of made me confirmed even before we got there that it's going to kind of be our vibe. It's a little bit trashier, a little bit busier, not quite as pretty, but still just an awesome city. And Florence was beautiful. And then when we got to the closest town to where the wedding was in rural middle of nowhere Tuscany was Montepulciano. And that was we opened the doors of our little house we were staying in, and it was literally like a postcard. And so just getting to be there for 3 nights and drink the wine at the vineyard we were staying at was just unreal. So great trip.
And now you have to come slop it up with us.
Let's slop it. Now we're dumping glasses of water on overcooked steak again, the American way. But no, one of those things where by the end of it, I was fully ready to come home. But yeah, we'll be back for sure. And Italy is just such a beautiful country and so many great cities and so many parts that we didn't even get to. But yeah, some of the best meals I've had in my life. The day after we got back, I went for a run to try and get back in it a little bit, and I was fully sweating, just actual carbonara sauce, just thick, wet, white pasta sauce coming out of all of my pores as I'm running the slowest mile pace of my life. Done a couple since then, and it's gotten a little bit better each time, but I think I'll be working off this trip for the rest of the summer, and I'm okay with that. It's fine. You don't go to Italy
long, man.
I'm fucking
exactly.
jealous. Yeah,
it's a good time.
Yeah,
but anyway, I've been jealous of you guys getting to be on the pod and hang out with the Beaver fam the last 3 weeks. I promise to never miss 3 consecutive episodes again unless I get kicked off the show.
A belligerent Beavs record.
A belligerent
for any
record.
of us.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
3 straight is too long. You guys did great, though.
See who the most loyal is, or at least the least loyal.
Mm-hmm. Well, neither one of you guys can leave ever again because when JP left, the Pac-12 fell apart, and when Terry left, we fucking had 2 hits for the
I was
Super
back.
Regionals.
I was back. I got back before the Super Regional started.
Oh, it was you. It was your fault.
So I should have stayed away.
You can never come back.
I should have stayed away. I'm sorry. Yeah, because we were playing so awesome on the road all year. This is my fault. My bad. I jinxed us. Fuck me, right? And that's probably a good segue into talking about. Should we do a quick beer segment and then talk about the Lexington Super Regional that we'd all rather forget about?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
With that enthusiasm, let's move on to the whatever segment, which we still don't have a new name for it. The beer segment. We can just call it the beer segment. It's fine. We'll come up with something more creative when it organically reveals itself. Yeah. The beer, the singular beer. We're each of us are only allowed one beer per show from now on. Man, that's gonna suck. I'm gonna start with Benny in the Terry shirt. Wait, real quick. This just reminded me of Benny's shirt supremacy from the past. Do you still have the Dunmo John Dunmore shirt that you ordered after you have 3 of them?
I have 3 of them. Because I was ordering one for each one of you guys. I don't know how it got mixed up, but I got like XLs. They were so
perfect.
Big.
Those will fit me now after this. I'll take all 3. You guys are skinnier than me these days.
Carbonara infused body.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. It'll be like, oh, these shirts fit perfectly, and I have one for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I don't need to lose weight again. Perfect.
Yeah,
I'll just turn mine into a pantless sleep shirt.
Just a smock.
Shout out sleep shirts, man.
Dude, and I do have to say, one of my favorite shirts is the Killer Whale shirt. I got a steal of a deal with that on Etsy, too.
That's like an actual shirt, though. I'm talking about shirts you've designed. Like shirt you're wearing and the Dunmo shirt, which you then tweeted at John Dunmore, and his response was, it's spelled Dunmore, not Dunmo. And you're trying. No, it's like Phil. It's Dunmo, like Philmo, like Andre Nicotina. And then I believe his response to that was literally, "That's what's up." So it did work out in the end, even though he did transfer. But shout out John Dunmore. I don't know where he is right now, but I just hope he's happy. And I look forward to wearing one of those shirts at a Beaver football game this year, Betty.
I'm gonna just wear this around. Just wear it around.
Right.
The city of Tacoma. Yeah. You'll be a legend, Terry.
That's all. I've only ever wanted to be a legend in the city of Tacoma. That's been the height of my ambition my entire life.
Tacoma.
But Benny,
that's another shirt.
You had a can of something.
I know your Diet Coke.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah, well, you're the one who went to me first.
Diet Coke.
Yeah, we've moved past Squirt. That's what I should have.
Come on, Coca-Cola Company.
I did talk with JP last week. I think that I might get on this sour train and start sampling sours. Yeah. I mean, I haven't really smoked in a really long time, so not that I can't do both, but it'd be nice to switch it up with the vices.
For sure.
Yeah.
I had a sour. Well, okay, so I have nothing to provide for the beer segment because I drank. Well, I do, but I had fun ones that I drank this weekend in pure misery. I was like, I'll save this one, and maybe I'll save these ones, and I'll decide which one I want for the podcast. And then I was like, I'm gonna drink that one. I'm so mad. And then I was like, I'll just save that one, and then I'm like, that's the one I'm going to have. I'm just going to drink it now. Screw it. I don't care. And then I have nothing fun but a Starburst. But
that's still fun. Just because you drink it every week doesn't mean it's not fun. Old Reliable.
I know, but I had so I went to Ruse Brewing in Southeast.
Hell yeah.
And it was my first time actually at the brewery, and it was a great time. They have great beers. I had some different West Coast IPAs I was going to bring on the show, but I drank them, And then I went to this market that I found on 42nd and Prescott in Northeast Portland. That is the Stop and Market, and they have a great beer cave.
Ooh.
But the best part is their beer cave.
I love
isn't
beers
their good
and
beers.
caves.
Yeah, but their beer cave is where they hide all of the beers that Terry likes. And instead, the fridges are just lined with phenomenal local and semi-local beers. So I went through there and I was grabbing a bunch of them. I grabbed this one that was a sour that Benny, I think, would be right up your alley. It's like the, like Rocket Pops, like the red, white, and blue popsicles.
Yeah. Dude, yes.
Yeah. So this is
USA.
It's from Weldworks Brewing, and it's a Rockets Red Glare Sour Ale. It actually, because of the red and the blue, and I guess the white, it somehow came out green. But you can see.
Oh, the beer itself is green.
Yeah, the beer itself is green.
It should be purple.
Well, I know, but I'm guessing the white is kind of actually yellow, and thus it made it green.
Okay, yeah.
So it's a sour ale with Rocket Pops, blue raspberry, snow cone syrup, and lemon.
Dude, how was it?
It was really good, actually. I had Annie try it, and she was like, wow, this tastes exactly like the Rocket Pops.
Dude, that's the best thing about sours is you have one, you're like, this tastes exactly like a blueberry muffin. This tastes exactly like
this tastes like a lemon chill delight freeze.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am so refreshed and so drunk. Hell yeah.
Terry, what does your beer taste like?
So I have a couple per usual.
What?
I wanted to have they don't have a lot of hams in Italy. I couldn't find a hams. What they do have, though, is a beer I was familiar with before going over there, Peroni, which is an Italian beer. And I believe Peroni is literally Italian for same fucking thing as hams. And I loved it. I drank some really good wine and some real crappy, real light, real refreshing, real cold Italian Pilsners. The liquor store right by my house here in Northeast Minneapolis did not have Peronis, but what it did have was another foreign beer that I have enjoyed in the past, and that is Asahi Super Dry, which is a Japanese beer that I drank a lot of with Ihoi when I visited him in Japan 7 years ago, and it tastes just like Peroni and just like hams. So
you know why?
Drinking
because Peroni's owned by Asahi.
Is it really?
Yep.
That's amazing. All right, then I'm drinking Peroni basically. I'm drinking Peroni and Asahi. I also have a local, but I was drinking before. I'm drinking a Main Squeeze Lemon Lime Blonde Ale by Prize Brewing Company, which is a craft beer here in Minneapolis. But
man,
I got
you're really having a Oregon State basketball vibe right now with all these international beverages that you're having, and I like it.
That's what we need to do because we need to have a beer for every player on the team. That's something that we can do with research.
Do that.
Michael Ratai is really helping us out.
Yeah.
Do they drink beer in Germany? Is that a thing they enjoy? Do they have any festivals dedicated to that activity? We'll come back on that. Listeners.
Yeah, let's do some research before we just spout out our assumptions.
Let's do a year's worth of research before we come back with any conclusive results. But yeah, that's a great idea.
Tune in to episode 200 to find out.
Yeah.
Right. With 200 bottles of beer on the wall. Take one down and pass it around. And we drink.
It's a German song.
It is, I know.
It is a German
Shout out Michael Ratai.
Is it actually a German song? I made that up.
Let Benny talk.
Benny talk.
I think this might be kind of hard. I'm searching it right now. We got that dude from that plays on the Iranian national team. Nope, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
It does look like there is beer that's brewed in Iran, which is awesome.
Okay.
Why
We
wouldn't
should absolutely?
why
do
wouldn't
this.
there be?
Well, finding it out here in at least the Pacific Northwest, just saying that's a lot of distance to travel to
Buying it, sure.
It is.
move beer.
We can.
Without
We've got listeners all over the world. As you guys talked about the Italian tabloids last week, and your projections were very accurate as to how they perceive the belligerent Beavs over there. So,
yep, yeah. How was your belligerent Beef sponsored Pope Mobile ride?
it was great. It made it so easy to get back and forth, and the Pope's a huge fan. He said,
wave at the fans.
The day I went to the Vatican, I was just quoting Eurotrip constantly, and he was very amused. So he's a fan of the show. He's a fan of that movie.
That's why
the Pope's on our side.
He wrote us a letter, and he called us the Holy Trinity. It was weird.
Right.
So
and because
I guess you schmoozed him enough.
Thanks to the fiance on this, because I know you two both grew up Catholic. I did not, but the fiance did. So that's enough Catholicism adjacency to get us Holy Trinity status from His Holiness himself.
Yeah,
and he remembers the time
think
Benny
about who
that
he
you
supplanted.
He remembers the time Betty threw up behind the Vatican McDonald's during public mass,
that had to be a different
10
Pope.
12 years ago. But he was in the College of Cardinals at the time, though. He was still there.
Oh, sure. Damn! Look at you dropping your fucking Catholicism
angels
knowledge.
and demons. Oh.
I like to believe that popes just pass on consciousness to the other ones. They forget who they were when they become pope, and they just all of a sudden absorb all the memories of past popes and everything else. So maybe he did.
It's like Dumbledore in Harry Potter. When a pope dies, the picture of him is still in your office, and he can talk to you from the beyond. It's they're just chilling back there. It's like an eternal happy hour. It's great.
That is great. That is exactly really like that idea.
That is exactly what Vatican City is. So Oregon State baseball swept 2-0 by the Kentucky Wildcats. In the Super Regional.
It's not the Vatican City. It's Lexington,
the opposite of Vatican City. Lexington City is not a state. It's not even a country. It's just a city.
But it is a steal. Oh, that's a deep cut. The Lexington Steel? No one? Yeah.
Oh,
okay. Never mind.
Yep.
Yeah.
It took me a second, but yep.
Anyway,
Terry still doesn't know.
I still don't know. I still have jet lag. A week later. But
so let's talk about this.
We're just over 37 minutes in. Let's talk about some Oregon State sports. Why don't we? Normally I would apologize for taking this long to get into it, but since it is June and nothing else is going on, what is the silver lining is Oregon State baseball managed to be the last Pac-12 team in action before the conference as we know it was laid to rest. So fuck everyone but us. Wish we were going to Omaha because for many other reasons, those Jell-O shots sure look tasty. But wasn't meant to be. And we are now at a time where I think a lot of frustration has kind of reached a fevered pitch in the fan base. I think, looking back, we can look back on this season. We can also look back on everything that the team has done under Canham, which I think a lot of people are doing right now. And maybe just think of how this got away from us, look at the future. But I think we do need to just sort of look at the 2024 Beavers as they were and just sort of where this weekend got away from us. And I think even though I wasn't fully in the week before, just because I was, abroad and I was catching up and not watching every single inning live, but still following best I could. These past two games kind of really felt like just a microcosm of the season where it was right there. The frustrations felt the same. Team not playing on the road the way we knew they were capable of playing. One game, but I mean, the bats weren't great in either game. The pitching was better in game 2 than it was in game 1. But even though, gotta tip your hat to Kentucky, they pitched great and obviously have a small ball formula that's worked for them and first College World Series in school history, even though their fans are annoying, but whatever. That's going to happen.
I mean,
no matter what,
that's
their team, their players, their coaches, they deserved it. And
their coach is very likable.
It still felt like, God damn it, a missed opportunity. And there's a lot of what ifs and just a lot of frustration. And I think a lot of confusion as to what to feel and kind of what the next step is, especially thinking of the future. We can talk about what Oregon State baseball will do next year, but I think we should focus on this year's team first. So just now that we've had a couple days, what's going through your guys' heads right now?
Well, I don't even, we definitely shouldn't talk about next season. There's so much stuff that's left to be unknown right now. I think I have to push back on if the pitching from Kentucky was all that good. I mean,
sure. I meant collectively.
Their pitchers, I hear
pitching,
you. We had really terrible offensive stats for sure, but those Kentucky struggled down the road at the last part of the season, and their pitching was not. I mean, it was good, but the guy who started on Saturday night, like a over 5 ERA. I mean, it's just like their pitching was okay. I thought that we just didn't come with the right mindset. And I don't think that's on any player. I think, you can, a lot of people are pointing at Canham. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I just to comment on that. And we talked about this, that there is a way that we saw, there was a path that we saw that Oregon State could make this an easy series. And one was being patient and seeing if the Kentucky pitchers will put you on base, continuing to hit like we've hit, which they didn't do. But I think it all came back to, and then waiting for like a big hit or, just stringing together some big knocks. And what happened was this: everyone leaned in too heavily into the whip of the Kentucky staff and just thought they were going to get enough balls to take a base or to put them in an account where they would get a favorable pitch. And it didn't come because baseball doesn't operate that way.
Yep.
It isn't a numbers game when you're just waiting for your numbers to happen. It's a game of averages that it will fall back to the mean eventually, regress back to the mean eventually, rise to the mean eventually. But just like waiting for balls and then waiting for your pitch, it doesn't work that way in a small sample size. And it felt like that's what they were doing. They just overread the analytics of the staff of Kentucky and were trying to rely too heavily on patience and waiting for their pitch, and it never came because it was 2 games.
Yeah, and it felt like I was so frustrated on 2 totally different fronts of there were so many strike threes that we just watched go right over the plate. It felt like there were so many of those. And then you have like the most disciplined hitter, not on Oregon State's team, but like nationwide with Travis Bazzana, who's just chasing, especially in game 2.
He was pressing.
Chasing. Yeah, he was pressing. But just like, I think the overall plate discipline was not very good. And to your point, Jay, like it did seem like there was this very clear game plan going in of these Kentucky pitchers are going to put you on base, let them put you on base. And then there was no like recalibration of, hey, this like clearly isn't working. Be more aggressive at the plate. So how those two things can both be true, it doesn't feel like it should be possible, but it was. Like, we saw very undisciplined at bats and watched so many strike threes just go over the plate. It was the most frustrating 2 games that I've watched of like any baseball team that I cheer for. It was just so frustrating to watch because and saw this team last weekend play a very good UC Irvine team with a very good, at least starting pitcher, but really like their entire pitching staff is solid. And you saw this team just crank out hits, and yeah, it was just a totally different team. And the worst part about it is like Kentucky did everything they could to leave the door open for us in game 2. And we just couldn't figure it out. This team belongs in Omaha. Like, they have all the talent in the world. They have 2 top-tier starting pitchers. They have the best player in the country, right? Like, and he overshadows some of these other position players who are incredible in their own right and will also be playing in the big leagues. You had the stars align this year, and you couldn't fucking figure it out. And I think that, clearly I'm not sugarcoating it, but I think that is what it is. Like, it is what it is, and I don't think you can argue against that.
It's interesting. I was just reading the Joe Freeman's write-up in the Oregonian, and I just would love to hear a little bit more about the mindset and the strategy that the batters and the offense had going into this series. They were swinging at everything that was the wrong thing in game 1. And I think what we saw really is, it was a microcosm of the season for how the series went. But I think it was how the pendulum had swung in both directions for who is struggling. And that was also simplified down to 2 games because pitching wasn't at its best to open game 1. Offense was definitely not at its best, but it had moments in close games all season where they've exploded late in the game and helped secure victory, even if they were totally stunned to start the first couple of innings. But there was no rhythm, and by the time we even maybe could have put some rally caps on and gotten after it, pitching had let it go. And that was one of the trends of the season. Was not to say that the offense was having its premier game in game 1, but one of them, either defensive pitching or the offense, kind of lets the game get away from them, and it's too much to overcome. Pitching let it go game 1. The hitters let it go game 2 for the most part. So there was some defensive blunders as well that will always be looked back at. But I'm looking here, and Macias even talked about what sucked was their struggle to find a rhythm, and then he says it's hard to pinpoint. I think we kind of got potentially a little swing happy, and we're playing into some of the off-speed pitches instead of being a little more patient. And so that to me tells me that there was parts of their at bat that they were told, wait on it, wait for your pitch. Don't swing at these pitches. If they're throwing this first pitch, don't swing, take it, whatever. Because if his mindset though was it goes 2 ways. Either his mindset was we're still trying to be patient and wait for our pitch, but maybe they felt the urgency because they were directed to have less pitches that they could actually see to swing at because of something in the box scores that they were directed to try to induce within their own matchups. And then the hitters just couldn't pull it out. I mean, it was all around frustrating. I totally agree with you, Benny. It was all around hair pulling frustration that I have not really experienced with at least this team this year. A lot of it was kind of excusable, like, well, it's one game in a series. Well, they won the series at least. Well, we're gonna bounce back, and then they kind of do that. But when your back is against the wall, and that was the performance, it felt very lackadaisical, and that's why I think it was the most infuriating.
Yeah, absolutely. I just I don't know. I do agree with you that there seemed like there was a clear instruction to all hitters to be as patient as possible, almost like be more patient than what we've been all season. And that the furthest I got in baseball was 6th grade. So maybe I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I probably don't. But it seems like you would do your research on the pitchers, the kind of pitches that they're throwing, the cadence, the breakdown of which pitches they throw and when, and let your hitters make the decision and play to their strengths. And if what was being told to the hitters was all encompassing and one size fits all of, just be patient, which I think we're probably simplifying it quite a bit by saying that, but I think that was a mistake if that's what happened.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was one guy who I think was not following that directive, and that was definitely Travis Bazzana.
Yeah.
I mean, he was, like we said, maybe overextending himself, maybe trying a little too much to will and power this team to some sort of rally, to some sort of big offensive inning. But I am glad that Baz got one more at bat. He nearly made it happen.
Yeah,
he nearly made it happen, and that would have been a nice feather in the cap of a very nice story.
Yeah,
but
it would have been a close play at the plate. I think he would have been thrown out, but it would have been a close play at the plate for sure.
Yeah. What I think is,
I thought he made solid contact that he could have definitely maybe got a little more lift on that one and got it out of the seats.
Yeah. Oh, right. God. Could you imagine?
And I'm sure he's feeling the same way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I think what a lot of people are having a hard time with right now is the last time this team made it to Omaha, of course, 2018, which Beaver fans need no introduction about. This was the first time that I think the lineup felt either as stacked or close to as stacked as that team felt. Like, you had a future number 1 overall pick in Adley on that team. Travis is going to be in that area. And then there was a bunch of other guys, Quan, Trevor, Madrigal, Grenier, just so many guys who are just high performance, big time gamers that this team also has. And the starting pitching was there as well this year. Like the pieces were in place. Yep. So if you can have a team like this with a lineup like this and a guy like Travis, who we just watched play his last game in the orange and black, almost certainly, I'd be shocked if he came back. And honestly, I'd be like, what are you doing, dude? If he did, I don't think that's going to happen. And we shouldn't do this, but I feel like in the current day and age, do not send any social media hate at Travis for going pro after this. Like, just don't.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I don't see
I feel like that's not,
that.
Hey, a lot of shit happened on Beaver Twitter while I was gone. I'm just saying. We're not going to talk about that shit.
There's a better chance that Jonathan Smith shows up at an Oregon State event than Travis Bazzana not coming back to Oregon State.
We're gonna fucking talk about that shit once we talk about the people who actually deserve our attention and breath at this point. But I think it is hard right now because I think you can't really, when Canham took over 2020, like the season got canceled like before it even really got started, and then since then it's been regionals, super regionals, regionals, super regionals, which almost any program in the country would be a pretty good first 4 years as a head coach. And I think I'm kind of smashing two questions I had together. I would have to go back and listen to all of the earliest episodes of the show. As I have mentioned over and over again, it's a narrative podcast. And I know we've gotten some new listeners who have started at the beginning, which is the most endearing shit ever. Please keep doing that and letting us know how your listening journey is going. But I think the first big argument on this show was when Canham got extended in 2021 or 2022, and I felt like this is an extension you give to a coach once he gets to Omaha at least once. And I think all of us are still in agreement. Like, I don't think firing Canham is the move right now either. I know that some of the reactionary things or some, like, the people who are doing reactionary journalism or just reactionary tweeting, posting, whatever the fuck we're calling it these days. But I am looking at this team this year and trying to take a step back and look at it from 30,000 feet. And I don't know what was missing. You had as good or as talented of a lineup as you had in 2018. Like, these kids at this team this year can ball like the same way. There was just one thing missing that you could call it an it factor. You can call it coaching. You can call it whatever. That just didn't come together to get them to Omaha. And before we go further into like what will probably naturally evolve into like a coaching discussion or like what moves need to be made, Pat Casey was the coach of this team starting in 1995 and didn't get to Omaha until 2005. So I don't want this to necessarily be a...
That's not a fair comparison, though.
It kind of is, though.
No, because Canham was given the keys to a program that was so top tier.
Sure.
I get the point.
But
I get the point. It takes a bit to get your coaching chops ready for that kind of level.
And I was the one who was like, why are we giving Canham this amount of guaranteed money and security when he hasn't earned it yet? Not to be like, fuck, can't like win a national championship or bust, bitch. Like, that's not what it was for. But I do think like and I think firing a coach now, like, it's weirdly a similar conversation to the men's basketball conversation, just with a program that's in a completely different spot. Where if you make a shift at this uncertain point, you better be damn certain about the next move that you make. So it's not the same thing. I do think there's a little bit of, of course, the program was in a much more stable position, had much more branding, much more national stature when Canham took over. But also, it is hard to get to Omaha. There are a shitload of baseball teams, and 8 of them go each year. And
you have to get lucky.
You need a decent amount of luck, and talent needs to meet luck at the right time. But how does this team even get more talent than it has right now? If the stars don't align this year, what's to say they ever will again? That's the kind of cynical way of looking at it. But the team's going to lose.
But also the talent. No, the talent will. There's a talent pipeline that's very clear that I think that Mitch Canham and co can recruit. And
yes, I think so too.
Depending upon the schedule that ends up occurring as an independent team,
and we have reason to believe the schedule will be pretty good. That's the last thing I wanted to add before I let you guys talk more. Sorry.
Yeah. But there's reason to believe he can continue to recruit at this level and bring in this level of talent. The turnover of talent from this season will be tough. It will be probably very rough.
Yeah.
From everything I have heard, we have a lot of draft eligible players. This program may not see the transfer portal exodus, but it could very well see
the draft exodus,
the professional draft exodus. And I honestly think that is apples and oranges if you're trying to talk about players leaving college.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, I just want to make sure we are all on the same page with that.
Yeah.
The three of us
But what I
are.
think will happen is, that's fine. And that's all I really care about.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. So the thing that to me will be the difference maker is coaching experience. I saw on Twitter there was a thread of Beaver fans talking a bit about the program that Mitch Canham has put together is very developmental, and it takes great players and then produces even better players out of them as long as they stick through with the program. And I am in full agreement with that. But they also alluded to, and it's food for thought, I'm not saying I agree or disagree, but they had all alluded to, well, it is like a minor league club, though, the way he manages this program, that he's developing them for something else, the big leagues, and that really there's no reason to prepare for the big moments in the big games because they don't really matter if your ultimate goal is to win at a major league level. And that's what that's your mindset when you're, helping to develop players, recruiting players, coaching them on a day-to-day, is how do I get this guy ready to do this stuff at a major league level on a major league team with, World Series aspirations. And I get it, but I also think that maybe it's just a timeline thing. Maybe this is because Canham needs to be worked in, have enough work experience at the collegiate level to understand how to do both. I think there are guys all over college baseball that can take a decent team, never develop them, but get the most out of them in the moment and have a hell of a season and make some noise all the way up to, if not including, in Omaha.
Yeah.
But there are very few people who can connect and develop with players, because that's where the continuity comes from, is when people just look at what's on paper. No one really cares. If you're 14 years old right now, you do not care that Oregon State did not, unless you're a Beaver fan, did not make Omaha here.
Right.
But when you see that Travis Bazzana went first or second or third overall in the Major League Baseball draft after being this Australian wonder boy that no one really knew anything about, and he was blossomed into a top 3 pick in Major League Baseball within 3 years under Canham, that's what you're looking at.
Yeah.
And that ensures you have the talent as you work on your coaching pedigree to get yourself ready for the situations and the things that it takes to get to Omaha. So I'm in agreement, but I think that's what you're looking at it at a moment in time perspective. Yeah, it looks that way right now as a minor league program in a sense, but I would rather it be that than be the Salem Kaiser Volcanoes, right?
Sure.
Like where you're unaffiliated recruiting guys locally, to just play 4 times a weekend. So
I think the biggest question for Canham right now is, how do you flip this status of Bazzana being one of the league's next stars into recruitment? Because he's leaving, but his development and his status and where he goes in the draft can still benefit Oregon State. So, I know Canham's going to be looked at with a microscope, and I know the whole Oregon State athletics fan base has, a bunch of different subset fan bases, and baseball is the hardest one to impress because of the expectation, and because I'm not trying to use this as direct comparisons, but even in the Casey years, when there were tough years, there's often a bounce back with a deep run. It's like there was the stretch 05, 06, 07 being in Omaha, 08 they didn't make it, and then the rest of the decade was pretty strong. that 13 team was really good. I think ended up finishing 5th, got to Omaha and finished 5th. Probably should get talked about more than they do. 17 was 17 gets talked about a lot because that was when we got absolutely fucked behind the plate against LSU. But it was like you could count on a run. It was like it was like 4 or 5 years. It was like timely. Like you knew it was going to happen, and that could keep the fan base at bay or at least satisfied. Because I think if Canham has one trip to Omaha at this point right now, we're still disappointed with the way the season went. But I think the general morale of Oregon State baseball fans like is a little bit higher, even with all the realignment shit going on. And
yep,
Bazzana leaving sucks because we don't get to see him be a Beav anymore. But obviously that it's a great thing for the program for how high he's going to go in the draft and to get to watch him to develop the same way we got to see, Adley do. And that is a huge, huge, huge recruiting and development chip that we need to see Mitch parlay into some big time results, and possibly already has.
Well,
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, he might have. Yeah, but we saw Casey do this already, and actually a couple weeks back as we were wrapping up Pac-12 conference play, I thought in my mind, I said, "There's something about this team." I really started watching Oregon State baseball very, very closely, or following at least, as it wasn't very televised, but for the 2005 team,
right,
and I was tracking things from probably like 2004 onwards as I could, mostly just any sort of write-up I could find. But that 2005 team, of course, was that first Omaha trip led by Jacoby Ellsbury, who had just an absolutely phenomenal junior year and lived up to expectations, was talked about on MLB draft boards all season long.
Yeah.
And then we just stunk it up in Omaha. I mean, we couldn't find it. We couldn't figure it out. And I remember thinking at the time, we're losing Andy Jenkins. We're losing Jacoby Ellsbury. Like, who's going to step up here? Who's going to do something after those guys go? And one, obviously, we ran it back, and, history will always record that there are some greats that returned back to Omaha and in a vengeance pulled it off and then did it again. But I would say, without looking at any recruiting class ranks or any sort of star prospects that were signed, things turned around for Oregon State consistently after that junior phenom who led them to, or really almost to, a promised land in parallels of Bazzana, only to go pro as a first round pick and then, become a household name thereafter, helped Pat Casey maybe more than anything else in his career. So there's other things that helped make me draw the comparison from that 05 team to this year's team. And the biggest one was, and I didn't want to say it, was that they just don't have it put together yet.
When baseball people,
05 team was very similar.
When baseball people talk about the first two Oregon State national championship teams, they mention Jacoby Ellsbury as being like a member of those teams, even though he was in the pros at that time. Like that, like is like people who know a lot about baseball, but just aren't, in the Oregon State zeitgeist day after day are like, oh yeah, of course Jacoby was there. And it's like, no, he was on the team that paved the way for that, but he wasn't actually on the 06-07 team. So hopefully that's what we've got. And it is like, it's hard because it's just kind of an unfair barometer of college baseball excellence to get in the top 8 or basically not be remembered at all. But Benny, I know you've got a burning thought. So
I have a couple actually. I'll make it. I'll
No.
try to make it as short as possible. But
cut loose, baby. We've got nothing else to talk about. It's summer now, baby. Every sport's over.
So, Canham, you have to remember Canham is under 40. The dude's 39.
Don't say that. Don't tell me that. Tell me he's like 55, and I'll feel better about myself.
He has he has a lot to learn. Like, he just does. I mean, if you want to put it in comparison, Ben Orloff, who is UC Irvine's head coach, he's the fourth youngest head coach in D1 baseball. And him and Canham, I mean, they look like they're in the same age bracket. So my point being that the fact that Canham can recruit as well as he can and develop players as well as he can, I think that's what we want to see right now. The coaching parts of getting a team ready to play on the road for a super regional in an SEC stadium, right? Like, that I think takes a little bit more experience as a coach. He knows how to do it as a player, but that's not the same. Like, being able to get an entire team ready for that experience is one that just it takes time. And I do think that rebuilding any team in college athletics right now can be a much quicker process, especially if you have a proven track record of development. So players are going to want to come play for you because they, even if it's just for they see light at the end of the tunnel of this is my best opportunity to get to the major leagues, or B, have a really strong brand. And Oregon State may not have a strong brand in most sports, but baseball, they have a really strong brand. And so if I'm Canham, I'm looking to see who's hitting the transfer portal, right? And baseball is a little bit
we're
different
gonna have
too.
to, yeah.
Right. Like in baseball is a little bit different where you can have an 18-year-old kid come on and make a huge contribution in a way that most probably can't in, football or basketball. Sure. And I just think that he has developed two players specifically with Adley and with Bazzana.
He did not develop Adley.
When did he?
He came out. He came after.
First. Wait, when was Canham hired?
Canham's first year was 2020.
2020. Well, forget.
So I came in hard there, but just wanted to fact check you on it. So Adley was still a Pat Casey guy, but he deserves credit for Bazzana for sure.
And if you look at Adley, he is part of the program. So whether it's under Canham or not, you're going to have two players that are not just household names in Major League Baseball. Adley for sure, and I think all signs point to Bazzana as well, are going to be faces of Major League Baseball. And that carries a different weight than what a Jacoby Ellsbury does. Jacoby was great, and Jacoby had a lot of attention, but Jacoby didn't get the attention that Adley currently has and what he's going to get. And I think what Bazzana has and what he'll get. So yeah, I think if I'm Canham, that's what I'm leaning on. You also have to realize, we talked about it, but you have to get lucky. Baseball is such a weird sport where the best team on the field doesn't always win. And it's not a huge upset if they don't. And when you play on the road, especially in an environment that an SEC school brings, it's why we see teams struggle so much in Corvallis. It's a tough place to play. Most teams that play super regionals on the road don't go through. And I think the fact that Canham is getting us into these positions to get to Omaha, he's getting us to super regionals. And then it's it's not a flip of the coin, but sometimes the best team on the field just doesn't win. And that's
but also, like you alluded to, the host team gets the benefit a lot of the time.
And that's the final thing that I wanted to talk about. Is that was a fucking unfair draw. That was an unfair draw.
But we wouldn't be in a position if we didn't drop some of these games. If we didn't get whooped by USC, we lose Stanford, or we didn't lose to Wazoo. I mean, like there's so much to look at the nonchalant regular season.
That is
conference
true.
Season but now the ramifications of are being felt, and I agree. It was a bad draw. It was a storybook draw for if anything, when it comes to a changing of the guard type message, old blood, blue blood versus new blood type messaging and storyline and narrative. And they definitely did lean into that a bit through the broadcast and through a lot of the coverage outside of ESPN that I've been reading. But it all happened because we weren't ready for games we should have not overlooked.
That is
in
fair.
The regular season.
That is fair. But every team in the top 10 had games that they lost or series that they lost that they shouldn't have. I agree to your point. Like the USC one was really bad, particularly. Like that one was really, really bad. But to put a team that was ranked like definitely top 10 and between like 6th and 7th, really, and give them the 15 seed and make them go play on the road against the team that's ranked second in the country. Like, dude, that's crazy. That is a crazy, crazy bad draw. And I don't know. I think that if you looked at the odds that were coming out of Vegas, they had both Kentucky and Oregon State in like the top 6 of futures who is going to win the College World Series. And when you have two teams that are in the top 6 that are playing each other in a super regional, that would imply that there was a bad draw that was made there. So yeah, that is all to say this, that Canham needs to be given some time. He's developing players. The final sort of part of this is getting his teams ready for a USC series where it feels like there are no stakes, or a super regional at Kentucky where the stakes are really high. Because it feels like the games that are sort of like the Oregon's probably not a great example because we did lose 2, but those were on the road. But like the home series against Oregon, the stakes were like kind of high because it's Oregon, but they weren't astronomically high, and we took care of business. Same thing with the regionals. Like they are pretty high, but not astronomically high like a super regional, and we took care of business. Like it seems like it's those series that are like that should be a gimme, and those series that like the stakes are just so high the team doesn't seem like they're ready for the moment.
But everything in between.
But I think that will come with Canham.
Yeah, I think it will too. Just real quick,
it's business as usual.
Just on the Ellsbury thing, just to put some context to that, he was a first-round pick, but he was the 23rd overall selection in 2005. So definitely not the same hype train as Adley when he was the number 1 pick to the Orioles. Yeah, or what will happen with Bazzana later this year. It also was weirder then too because the draft took place like before the tournament usually.
And like it wasn't televised. I was watching on like a game cast. Like as the name would pop
start
up.
televised. I think like 08 or 09 was the first year that they televised it.
Yeah, after MLB Network. Yeah.
I think I watched it, the first one at your house, the Hyphy house.
I think you did. Yeah. I was one of the few people that had MLB Network.
You did. We spent a lot of time at your house watching MLB.
Yes, you used it for sure.
I do there is some good baseball news. I thought of this. I was like, I got to say this on the show. And I thought of it while I was pooping this morning. So that part of it didn't need to be included. But that's where a lot of good thoughts happen. The good news in baseball right now is if the Major League Baseball playoffs started today, all 3 teams that the 3 of us cheer for would be in. And I think all 3 of us have been disappointed by the way that our 3 teams have performed in Major League Baseball this year, either on the field or with new uniforms, or both, and or both, and we'd all be in the playoffs. So that's some optimism for the three of us and for the belligerent Beavs. I think
Are
we're
you
doing
looking
great.
at like pre or post Italy trip standings? Because I had no idea the Giants were even in.
The Giants are
anything
tied
at this
with
point.
the Cubs and the Reds for the last
for
wild
the
card spot.
super
but
duper expanded wild card.
I think you have the tiebreaker for the last wild card spot.
Yeah,
So
we're also sub 500, and
you're sub 5. I didn't say all three are above 500. I said all three would be in the playoff field if it started today. Get in the tournament.
Could win the AL West.
This bad.
There's been 3 San Francisco Giants World Series teams since we've been friends, and not all of them were good at this point in the season. And I think you would agree with me on that. So
that's true.
Getting into
Definitely
the tournament is a big step, and obviously there's a lot of season left to go. But at least on your team, JP, and on my team, Michael Conforto and Trevor Larnach are providing some contributions that have helped keep the respective teams in the playoff race. So
yeah, and Conforto just got back from the IL, so welcome back.
So now you're gonna you're gonna win 10 of the next 11 games.
Yeah, there you
with
go.
Conforto back.
I like that.
That's all that it takes.
He's out there with my dude Elliot Ramos, who we met at Tacoma when he had just been called up by the Sacramento River Cats.
Yeah,
tossed a ball to the mini bebe in spring training, and then later hit a home run. Actually, we cheered to him. He waved. Then the next inning, he hit a home run in spring training. And then the next inning, we cheered even louder, so he threw us a ball. My kid he threw it for the mini bebe. We got the ball. Then we went up and saw Benny and Yuri, and super secret producer Skinner came with us, and we went to a Rainiers and Sac River Cats game. And just by chance, Elliot Ramos had just been called up to AAA. So we went down to the field, said, "Hey, we brought this ball. You tossed it.
You hit it, or you tossed it.
And then he was like, signed it, took photos. Yeah, it was dope. So
that was
big Ramos.
That 3 years ago.
That was the day that Benny got so sunburnt that they turned purple, right?
Yeah. But it was just my knees.
It was just
the rest of my body was fine.
Purple knees, baby.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I went to another Rainiers strain name. Purple knees. I sent you guys the picture, right? I harvested it.
Yeah.
Your knees or your weed?
I actually, dude, so I forgot to tell you guys, I did smoke it because Yuri's like, we really should test this before we give it to my dad. It's all going to her dad for Father's Day. Yeah. And I hadn't smoked it like a month and a half, maybe.
All of it?
Yeah, well.
An entire plant?
Well, maybe not now. Let him finish the story.
Yeah.
Yuri's dad is cool as shit, is all I gotta say.
Yeah, and so I coughed the second I took a hit because I tried to take a hit like I was before. And I have not been that high since like Adam Keefe
snuck weed in the hookah at the
yes, and I hadn't smoked weed since I was like in high school.
You narc. Yeah. You can't name drop him like that.
With Adam, you can.
Yes, I can. Oh. He fooled me. And so anyways.
That was the most scared I have ever seen you in my entire life. You were so scared.
Mine was filming a squirt video at the cemetery. That's the scariest most I've ever seen you.
That is,
and you're probably equal amounts of high.
That was so scary.
At midnight.
Oh, dude!
In actual haunted cemetery.
Researched that.
Yes, was it Marysville
Cemetery.
Marysville.
In actual ghost hunter location.
Oh, we did the mistake of looking up people that were buried there and just.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
You guys had a lot of time on your hands before we even got there. Summer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh man, what a fun summer.
Way less time than making a podcast every week about the same shit.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
digress.
We should have done this back then. We
We
would have
should
been
have.
just so far ahead. With everything.
I remember being in a meeting at the offices of the Daily Barometer being like, what the fuck are podcasts? These aren't going to catch on. These are even dumber than Twitter. None of this is permanent.
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah, you would say that.
Dude,
Yeah, I
we
remember
had
thinking like, so this is like not live radio? Like
It's
what?
like it's
What is
just
the point of
shitty
this?
sports radio that you can listen to whenever. Yeah, people are going to listen to that. Okay.
Opting in for sure.
Dude, that summer I had more free time in that summer than I've had in the last 10 years.
Oh
We
yeah,
had
easily.
so much free time. We had no obligation. That was the period of life where I had the least amount of obligations. Like at
So
all.
good.
Yeah, and
And
it
lived in
showed
Corvallis.
because you made
Yeah.
15 videos about liking squirt soda.
Yeah.
We
and
know-
a
we
rap
know-
song.
We know how much free time.
And a
you
rap
have.
song.
Yeah.
It was a great
Oh
rap
man,
song
so
too.
fun.
Oh man,
And we
okay.
went to Peacock. Oh, it was so good. Yeah.
Oh, all the time. I was so bored
Peacock
of
in the
Peacock, I was-
summertime's underrated.
Oh, it was totally fun. But by like
Yeah.
I don't know, mid-August, being there every night during the summer,
It was
I'm
so
pretty
much.
sure
And no
I was-
other
we
college
were
students were
outside.
there?
No, there was one night where Benny and I were like leaving, and we were outside like laying on our stomachs on 2nd Street because we saw a mouse run under a van, and we were trying to catch it and make it our pet. And we were like laying on our stomachs, looking for it under the car
Oh, my
in the middle of the road,
God.
but no one was driving down the road, so we were safe
That
unless somebody got in
Yes.
the van and backed up. But we
was that the summer where I also had
Yes,
the
it was.
telemarketing job?
Before, no, that was
Yeah.
the next
Or
summer.
not telemarketing.
No, that was the next
but
summer.
Yeah,
That was the next summer.
that was the
no.
next summer.
You had this was the same summer, and you had
No, because
the-
that
the
was
chair with no back. The chair with
Yeah.
no back. Yeah.
yeah.
You guys
in
were-
a sweaty, no air conditioning.
you guys
room.
were in Portland at
God.
that point, right? Oh no, this was
No.
No.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
you
we were
had
still in Corvallis.
Benny. You had
and Benny
multiple
had to
terrible
answer-
telemarketing jobs because remember Zed Tama
What
used
job
to
was that?
ju-
They were.
he judged you for
Oh.
a telemarketing job you had in Portland.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that was so
yeah.
short-lived though.
that was like a week. You did that for like a week.
Yeah.
You were selling
Yeah.
like Google ad space or something.
Yeah.
on
Oh
that
my
one.
God. Yeah. It was, dude. I should have walked out the second that guy opened his mouth. But my working conditions in Corvallis rivaled those of like the kids that made Nikes. Like they
No,
were
that's not true.
atrocious.
Let's
Oh,
It's pretty
stop
true.
it, Terry! You
Yeah,
weren't
it's
there.
pretty true.
You weren't even there.
It was like a
Dude,
Sheen
they
factory,
probably
man.
had backs
It
to
was-
their
I wasn't.
chairs.
I
Yeah,
wasn't.
it was
but
like
did
a
you have
Timu.
food, Betty? Were you
No,
able to go?
No.
Dude, would you say Otter Pops are food? Because I had
Yes.
Otter Pops.
Yes, I would say they're food.
You got like 15 calories per pop
my
and
God.
about
Yeah.
70% of your daily sugar requirements.
Yeah, you weren't there. You were probably
Yeah.
sitting in your nice fucking
Benny-
chair with a back to it, Terry.
I did.
Yeah,
privileged
Benny was in
fuck.
a rolling chair with
The-
no back. It was
the
just
Timbers-
the spike, like a spine.
The
And
Timbers
You
didn't give
probably-
me much
you
that summer,
probably-
but they did give me a chair with a back. That is
You
true.
probably were able to wear more than just underwear because you worked in a place that had air conditioning.
yeah, he'd
Yeah.
have to lock himself in the room to be like super quiet, answering phones as like an operator for a business you didn't even know existed. They would just tell you right before the call that this person's
Yeah.
calling on behalf of this business, so it's answer it like this, and then.
Yep.
We only had an Ethernet cable that was like the longest
That
one
was-
we could buy, and our router was all the way across the house, so it had a string at like neck height, could like decapitate somebody if you were running fast enough. All the way
Oh
from
my
one side of the
God.
house to Benny's room, and he had to shut the door. He did not have a desk or a backing on his computer chair, so he was rolling around with like a seat that had a spine sticking out.
Yeah. If you
And
sat
then-
on it wrong,
It
watch
killed
out.
you.
Yeah.
You probably
and then
could
there
have
was
just
no
done
air
that job
conditioning.
at the
There
non-quiet
was no air
floors in the
conditioning.
library.
Well, no,
You know how hot
no,
it
he had
gets
to
in
use
the
the
sun?
phone. He had to use the phone they provided for him. He had to
Yeah.
plug it in to our internet. He had to like give him our
Yes.
IP address. He had to do it, all this
Yeah.
stuff. And then
I was
and
like
then
cornered in with cords.
Yeah, no, you like couldn't go within more than 3 feet from your door after it had been shut. And it was 99 degrees outside of Corvallis. We had no air conditioning. You had all your blinds totally shut. You had all your sheets like stapled to your window to try to black out the sun and the heat. And I'd go in there and you would just be in your boxers.
It was
sitting on your floating chair, tethered to an Ethernet cable that was about as taut as like a very nice like fishing line in Mexico.
Yeah, it was like a violin string.
Answering phone calls for unsuspecting dialers of businesses that had no idea what kind of conditions you were operating in. I applaud you for that, but I would open your door very often to ask if you needed water and just laugh my ass off.
They sent me a bag of dried beans for my paycheck too. It was like literally nothing that they paid me. So yeah, Terry, it was that bad.
Yeah, I mean, just be thankful for the beans.
That's what
man.
we were looking for, the mouse to eat it, Terry. We weren't trying to make it our pet.
Yeah,
Benny was hungry.
Put it on a skewer. Yeah, because our house got robbed and robbers ate my pumpkin ice cream.
That was years before that, all right?
Yeah, we never got any more pumpkin
That
ice
was
cream
before
afterwards.
I was even friends with you.
Oh, man.
I don't have a segue for that.
I do. Speaking of not friends with them, what color dress was Jonathan Smith wearing at the Lexington Super Regionals? Was it gray?
Was it gray? Was it blue? I don't give a shit. Why the fuck was he there? Why the fuck was he there?
I
don't know. And
how did he not get shamed out of the stadium?
Yeah, I was going to say,
like,
what kind of self-respecting Beaver fan would be sitting there chopping it up with him?
Shit ever.
Also, you have to also be a little odd to be chopping it up with Jonathan Smith, because that man is awkward as hell. There is nothing in this universe that he would chop it up over unless you were equally as awkward and you were just laughing at each other.
When your ex is just like liking your Instagram shit like 9 months later, they're like, hey, here's a cool sandwich I ate. And it's like, such and such liked your photo. And it's like, why the fuck are you here?
Yeah.
Leave.
Yeah, but that would be if your ex cheated on you and then brought all of your friends over to her friend group and then you were left with nothing. Yeah, and if she was just liking all your Instagram,
and then it's like, I'll throw him a like to be because why?
I don't get it.
Why go? Like, I should go to Lexington and just be there.
And it's
fuck off,
but it's not like
off.
It's not like another school in Michigan. It's so far away. I don't get it.
Or in his conference,
right?
Like, it has nothing. Like he handed in his card. I mean, let's be real. He handed in his Beaver card the minute he stepped away, and what
threw
was
everything to give Goodwill.
Easily the most sensitive time.
His notes app farewell
on his Beaver card with the notes farewell, with the Goodwill donations, with the press conference. I've been thinking about this for a long time.
I haven't mentioned anything. I wasn't going to abandon a place. I wanted to go to a place. Like, that's the same shit. John. I'm only calling him John from now on. He's not Jonathan to me anymore. He's only John. John Smith.
Yeah, he can have my name.
You're JP.
He can take my name.
Your name is just initials. Be like Short Dog.
He took everything else.
I won't call him by initials. His name's just John.
Yeah.
He left the thon. He left the thong. JP, please play 5 seconds of the thong song by Cisco.
He had dumps like a truck. Guys like what? Baby, move your butt.
Dude, we have all summer to dig into this topic, but can we just say that this sports season, because we are wrapping up this sports season, this is the first episode since
this sports year.
The sports year's over.
Yeah.
Last
year was like, oh my God, how
worst
amazing.
Year. This was the worst year that
Okay, finish.
I fucking will finish. This was the worst year that any group of fans have had to go through with the, I mean, like Washington State, you could lump it in, but I think it almost made it worse
that we were good
our
at shit.
teams were good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That made it
was
way worse. That made it
100%.
way fucking worse. And, I mean, look, like this was I truly feel like this was rock bottom this whole year. Not one, like you could pick out certain points of it, but this whole year was rock bottom for the Beaver fam. And you look at it and still everyone fucking showed up. Goss was rocking. Reeser was rocking.
Gill was rocking.
Gill for women's basketball was rocking. Like it was, I don't think there was
Don't
a
let
better right. Like I almost think that it has and will continue to bring us together as a fan group. And so like I don't know. There's just this part of me that like it's still sort of working out these like thoughts, but like it was so bad and it was like a misery loves company sort of thing where like this will define and develop Oregon State as a brand, as an athletic program, but more importantly, like as a fan base to be what we are going to be in 4 or 5 years down the road. Like we had to go through this.
What you're saying is like what we've kind of been saying this whole time. And the thing that sucks about it is almost all the teams were good.
Yeah.
Damn good. Legitimately good. Not just, good for Oregon State. Good for this team that has the 10th or 11th payroll in the Pac-12, whatever. Like actually good. And none of it mattered. Being that good didn't matter. Being amazing fans didn't matter because all the players left. Not all the players. I don't want to say that. Sorry. But like a bunch of players still left. And it's like, okay, you can run it back and maybe win a national championship. Nope, not interested. Not going to do that. And it's like basically with every sports season that ended had the conversation of like, what's a Beaver fan to do with this? And those are questions that are still unanswered. And I would say, I'd give credit to the University Athletic Department to an extent. I think there's still a lot of let's wait and see what they do over the summer. I think this is a big summer for the athletic department. Not to like get into like inside baseball on like the TV deal with CW or whatever. Like the three of us have not been mad at that yet, basically because I think we still view that decision as incomplete. People generally are like, oh yeah, June and July, who the fuck cares what happens? The next 2 to 3 months, I think, are some of the most important months for this athletic department, for the NIL collective. So. And they need to do shit that shows us, shows Beaver fans like incentive to stay engaged and stay enthused and keep bringing that energy that was brought all this last year, because the fans are the only thing left at this point, which is what I think you're saying.
Maybe. Yeah, but I kind of disagree with that. I agree that they need to do something, but not for the fans, because let's be blunt. This university has had some years, and we're enduring some now, that programs were god awful, and the fans were still here when they came back around and started being successful. They were there even when they weren't successful. So I think that Oregon State's a unique fan base in the sense that we're not privy to having to follow the trends of national media attention success. But I do agree that the athletic department needs to come up with something big this summer,
bold, loud, and out there. Because if the athletic department's like, "Oh, Beaver fans will be here,"
fans,
no, I don't.
But to retain the players and to retain this respect of the national perspective, the local perspective, the alums, the born and raised, that will never waver. I don't think that will ever waver. I don't think. But the athletic department can't use that as an excuse, is what I'm saying. Well, no. Yeah, I agree. Like you can't say, well, we when we lost,
We have the best
25
fans in the
consecutive
world.
football
Who gives a
seasons.
shit? Yeah.
Yeah. But I would say that that's not my concern is losing fans if the athletic department doesn't do something. But I do feel like there is a concern that if we don't do something right now, we will be in a hole as a fan base, as a university, as an athletic department that will be impossible to climb out of. But the fans will always be there.
Yeah. And that's the thing that I've thought about a lot lately of, I mean, it was exciting to go to the University of Washington and Oregon State game where there was a lot on the line and it was 2 top 10 teams, right? Like battling it out. But really like that, the buildup of that was such a small part of the experience of that weekend, right? Like, and that part might be taken away for the next couple of years, but that experience isn't. And I think like for me, it's like, we're not going to change anything. The Beaver fam isn't going to change anything. That's been made very clear by all parties involved that have caused this whole mess that we're in. And so like, I think it is important, especially now that we are facing what we have sort of dreaded for this whole year of this uncertainty of the next athletic year, to just sit back and realize like it is such a small part of the experience at Reeser or the experience at Gill or the experience at Goss of the actual matchup. Like
or Lorenz or Kelly.
Yeah. Or right. Yeah. Any of them, like the actual matchup. Yes, it adds a little bit of excitement, but like what it's all about is, or Tristan, is like the fans and the experience of being at one of the great facilities and being in Corvallis and being like with each other. And that's not going away. So I do think like, it is important to realize that. And it also is important to realize that we can't change what is going to happen. And because of that, like maybe it's, loosen up on the anger a little bit. Cause I know like Beaver Nation right now is hurting, and Beaver Nation right now is like, it has all the right in the world to be fucking really upset given how things sort of ended. But, we'll be back for more next year. And that's,
for sure.
I think that's what we're saying. Yeah.
And we'll be back next week as a podcast.
We will be back next week.
We're not taking any breaks.
Yeah, we will.
And I for sure can't.
Yeah. No.
I
have an obligation. I have 3 weeks off, and you guys do it by yourself.
I would love. I'm down. I'm down.
I actually wouldn't allow you to do that because I don't want it. I don't want you editing another episode ever again.
I know how to do it. I do it just fine.
Just fine isn't good enough, Terry. That is not Omaha good. That is when your regional losing super regional is good.
I am the CW of editing podcasts. It works for now. Damn it! It's a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. Oh my God, we do still need to shout out Seam Headed, the most enthusiastic, cool ass diamond themed sports apparel company on the planet. Our friends at Seam Headed are still in the dog days of baseball season. It doesn't end when Oregon State baseball season ends, thank God. And good for that too, because they've got great gear dropping weekly, almost weekly. All kinds of great drip, including the Belligerent Beavs collection, which you can still get at seamheaded.com, especially when you use the promo code CHOP'EM at checkout, which gets you 31% off every single item in the Belligerent Beavs collection, which gets you what, JP? What, Benny?
The noisest.
The noisest discount
noise
in the game. Benny, what's the total that you pay when you use promo code CHOP'EM at checkout? What's that total?
69%.
69%. Yeah.
69.
It's so nice. It's like a game of knifey spoony on a hot summer day in the Tasmanian outback. Shouts to Travis Bazzana. We needed Travis Bazzana specific piece from Seam Headed. I know we're probably not supposed to demand what products they make next in our ad reads for them with this per the sponsorship agreement that they pay us for. But sorry, Pat the Bat Ryan, we're making suggestions in the ad reads now. Make a Travis Bazzana shirt or Travis Bazzana leggings. I love the leggings that Seam Headed does. They're so fucking sick. Seamheaded.com. Follow Seam Headed on Twitter and Instagram right now, and remember, promo code SHOP'em at checkout for the nicest discount in the game. And with that yawn from Benny, wearing a shirt with 5 of my faces on it.
69 Terry's 69ing.
69 Terry's 69 each other. don't make that shirt next, Benny. Don't put that on motionfees.com/merch.
Put it on terryhorseman.com or terryjhorseman.com.
TerryJHorseman.com is literally a French clothing website now that I have nothing to do with.
What? Yeah, right.
They bought your domain?
They bought my domain after I was like, I'm not renewing this. And now go to it right now. It's like a French, weird. It's like a French Gen Z clothing
Oh, no, it's
store.
gone.
It's gone already?
It's gone now.
Okay. I could get it back if I wanted. I don't know. I'll figure
it's
shit
available.
out.
Hey, by the way, we got to give a shout for the person who started the gray versus blue dress argument. Just epic. It took over Reddit. It was all over TikTok. If you missed it, I'm sorry. We ran a poll for 6 hours and 9 minutes to let people vote on exactly what color Jonathan Smith's dress is.
I was about to say why only 6 hours and 9 minutes, and then I got it.
But we'll give Sam H a shout. They were asking to best get a shout on the pod. We are messing with them, putting that poll up, and that's
Good
a
shit.
fellow _ X username. So if you want to give Sam a follow, it's at Irish _ Beaver. Fits right in with us.
You're
by the
right.
way.
Yeah.
Underscores Irish Beavers.
three Irish working.
Just come on the pod. Just be part of the pod.
Right.
Yeah. Come on, Sam. All right.
We gotta do a live show in Ireland
that's all I got.
someday. And we gotta do a live show someday,
Tomorrow.
but then after that we gotta do a live show in Ireland.
Yeah.
Give us the Ireland game,
I'm down.
college football. What the fuck? I heard that one. Let us play Northwestern in Dublin or whatever the hell. Come on.
Yeah.
That would be sweet.
Give us Notre Dame.
Give us we want the rematch.
Jonathan Smith will show up wearing gray or green,
Or-
but you can't tell.
or just blue again. The devil's in a
Probably.
blue dress, as they say.
That's very good. That's good. I like
So,
that one. I should have given you the
Devils
drum
in a
roll.
blue dress.
Devil in a blue dress.
That should be.
Did I time that right? I don't know if it was. Well, we'll see
That
how
should
good your
be-
editing chops are, JP,
Wait.
if you can put it together.
Betty, here's your drum roll too.
That should be a shirt on our merch site. Is a picture of him, and it says the devil in a blue
That's
dress.
way too long for a drum roll.
It could be. It could be
needs to
like
be
this
2
shirt.
syllables. No,
It should be like this shirt.
Jonathan
the devil
Smith
in a blue dress.
is never deserving of a shirt like mine or the Bray area shirts that we have on belligerentbeavs.com.
We almost had some.
/merch.
Did we ever release those? I don't know. They're gone now.
The Bray area
If you
shirts
leave
are
Oregon
gone.
State, you lose the merch. No. I'm talking about any Jonathan Smith any John shirts.
Any
John
John Smith.
shirts. He's not even Smith either. He's just John. Just another
John
white guy
Schinkelheimer
named
Smith.
John in fucking Michigan, of all places.
One last thing about football from me. Can we get these fucking uniforms, please?
It's
like,
time. It is time.
It is time.
Like I said,
Yeah,
we're recording this on
our current-
Monday, June 10th.
Yeah, go ahead. Give the dates. That makes sense.
It is Monday, June 10th, 2024. We are playing against Idaho State in like 9.5 weeks, 10 weeks. It's happening soon. It like this shit. I wasn't trying to come too hard at the. I'm never trying to come that hard. I'm trying to come adequately, but at the athletic department, we are at the point where like this rollout needs to start happening. Like I think if there are new uniforms, which we have been told that there are, and I think
the window is going to be missed right now.
The window needs to the window is about to start closing. We need to start seeing uniform shit. We need to start seeing actual advertisement of when the games are and what they're on. And that CW is not just a channel for reruns of Dawson's Creek, Felicity, and One Tree Hill anymore. I know all those shows fucking slap. I'm not saying they don't. And Gen Z has just started getting to all of those shows that we watched super emo like when we were like 14 years old. They're just recreating all the shit we did, guys. Wearing wide leg jeans and shit. They're making all the same mistakes. We failed the next generation.
Blink-182's on tour again.
Blink-182's on tour again. One Tree Hill is on before the Oregon State game and after the Clemson Florida State game. What the hell is happening? But exactly, JP, the window is open right now and it's about to start closing. And there's about 8 weeks of that window. Shit needs to start fucking happening.
And the uniforms are so... Go ahead.
I'll start spreading this rumor that all we've heard is that it's a gray. There's a new gray uniform. That it doesn't. It is.
I did not know.
Inspired by John.
It isn't
gray
replacing.
Ass.
Yeah, it isn't replacing any of the current issued colorways of the uniforms. But I would be a betting man and say.
Everything
that will be the only new uniform this year.
Oh, really?
The other ones will still return at this rate because our current uniforms were announced in April prior to that of their first inaugural football season, and here we are in June.
I know
it's hard to drum up excitement in the summertime when you don't have a bunch of students on campus seeing the uniforms up in the bookstore, when you don't have people, just like feeling like school is in session in general. Like this is a very dead time of most corporations, and let's face it, universities are a corporation. So not the time to announce the uniforms unless we don't. I don't know.
I'd be so disappointed.
It could be an issue with the materials. It could be an issue with the design.
Nike.
It
could be a lot of things, but fuck.
But the thing that they could easily play off is it was just, one new alternate, new uniforms coming next year.
Because they've never said anything.
We'll see. They've never said anything.
But we've heard things.
Yeah, because you see you see other schools that, Baylor announced theirs several weeks ago. Florida State announced theirs several weeks ago. I don't know. Oregon's announcing one every single week, but yeah, it's weird, right? Like it is fucking weird that we are here in June and we've been getting teased that this new uniform is coming.
I think there's a hold up.
Come on the pod and release it.
Stay tuned to episode 146 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 14010, which is also 150.
I think we should call it
milestone
out there.
I think we should call it 14010.
Yeah.
Or the I Love You episode plus 7. Stay tuned until then, and I promise we will have an answer for you
at some point.
Right, Terry?
Yes, we'll have. And if we don't by then, we will know by August 31st when the football team plays a game and they come out in uniforms.
Or maybe they don't, and they just wear pads,
and they're just naked under their pads,
and they're just
That's the new intimidation factor.
They're trying for the Naked Attraction TV show.
We have
check that one out.
We have to end this episode.
Get out of here.
Thank you so much for welcoming me back, you two specifically, but also belligerent Beavs listeners. I love you. I miss you. I'll never leave for 2 weeks and 1 day again. Thank you. Oh my God. God, I love getting applauded by very real people at all times. It's so nice. It's so nice. This guy, he'll be here all night, and he'll be here next week, and he is JP Bertram in Portland at the Trill J on Twitter. That's at the _Trill_J because he's too Trill to be real, and at JP Bertram on Instagram. The man behind the ones and twos and all the drum rolls and the drum badoom chishish and not doing car horns, getting you rear-ended in traffic or making you rear-end someone else, whatever. He'll never do it again, Andy Snacks.
We're not liable for any of
that. And also, of course, Benjamin Lawrence Sebastian Wehage, a.k.a. Benny with the good quaff, a.k.a. Benny Bedlam because he's fucking crazy, folks, a.k.a. Benny Blastoff, a.k.a. Benny Burner, a.k.a. Benny Bull Game, a.k.a. Benny Scoops, because he scoops things. We haven't done Benny Scoops in a while, but you got Scoops. Benny's going to scoop the uniforms either next week, the week after that, 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 or the week after that. Promise.
You'll never know.
You'll never know until it happens. So you better turn into each one of those episodes, however many I just mentioned. And myself finally back from the Italian countryside. Ciao bella. Ciao belligerent Beavs. I'm Terry Horseman at Terry Horseman
well
on
done.
Twitter, at Terrence Horseman on Instagram.com. Please follow me anywhere and follow us, god damn it, at Bellige Beavs on Twitter, at Belligerent Beavs everywhere else. That includes Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Blue Sky, MySpace, Friendster, at ItalianUber.com, Italian sommelier wine drinking app, Italian Yelp for sure, and just regular hotels.com for getting rooms in Corvallis on college weekends. Am I boring you, Benny? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
I have something really good to say at the end.
Save that drum. JP. belligerentbeavs.com, belligerentbeavs.com/merch. Please, in spite of this outro, give us a 5-star review. No matter where you get your podcast, no matter where you get your internet, no matter what sound effects JP is trying to fuck with me with right now, I'm still going to end this goddamn episode in spite of all of these distractions. We really appreciate it, and it helps us grow the show a lot. And no matter what happens, no matter what season ends, no matter who's going to Omaha and who's not going to Omaha, no matter where Jacoby Ellsbury was picked in the 2005 MLB entry draft, remember, you can't spell chop 'em without hope. So, chop 'em.
Chop 'em.
Chop 'em.
I'm back, baby. Ciao, bella.
And remember, Terry comes adequately.
I agree.